beautiful rain. Thank you for the sun. Thank you for my family, my mom and my dad and my kids. Thank you for friends. Thank you for this radio station and the owners, the staff. Thank you, Father. This morning I lift your name on high. Your name, indeed, is worthy to be praised. Okay, the time is 8:13 a.m. Let me say thank you, Sharon, for holding it down this morning. I could imagine how hard it was for you to get up from your bed in this rain. Everybody loves the rain to catch up on some sleep. So, thank you, Sharon. Let me say this morning that you are listening to the program One Shot, One Kill, where talk has never been more deadly. If you want to see me live, you can go to YouTube and type in One Shot, One Kill, the Street 919 FM live stream. This morning, folks, we are going to be discussing the Venezuelan influx. Yeah. And what has transpired thus far, looking, of course, at the protest and everything else, the registration, what have you. So, without further ado, let me say my piece. Well, folks, you know how we do it. I read a little thing, and then I will a cappella from where I left off, because most of the time when I'm writing, sleep takes me, and I will have to abandon the writing. But of course, it's all minds, so my trend of thought is not a problem continuing through extemporization. The Mag Bus. Folks, you can take a pig out of the gutter, but you cannot take the gutter out of a pig. As such, when former Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar tried to bestow stature to her name by accepting silk, which she didn't earn, she still didn't have any class. Hence, she ended up a woman scorned. Class is Mrs. Hazel Manning. Class is Carolyn C. Persad-Bechan. Class is Nicole Dyer Griffith. Class is Suniti Mirage. Class is President Paula Mae Weeks. And class is Mrs. Sharon Rowley. Folks, last week we saw where Kamla and the UNC have hit rock bottom as the countdown to the local government election draws closer. Apparently, the party has hired a transvestite to join the likes of Marcia Brave Girl, Stax, Winston Ragu, Suzette Louis, and others to maliciously attack and demonize PM Dr. Rowley and the PNM government. But there is nothing new under the rising sun, because during the last dispensation, Kamla's Tobago East MP, Vanilla Allen Toppin, was instructed to launch a personal attack on Dr. Rowley and his deceased parents. Moreover, Kamla herself has often found pleasure in calling Prime Minister Dr. Rowley derogatory names at her Monday night forum meetings. However, it didn't work in the past. In fact, it worked against her, so much so that the electorate rejected her 7 or more times at the polls. Therefore, I don't see how now a transvestite shouting Rowley must go can help her now. Truth be told, several UNC supporters have reached out to me claiming that Kamala put this big, stinking transvestite, quote unquote, not my words, to destroy the national image of the party. I tried sympathizing with them, saying, what's wrong with a trans? But they were adamant that this has marked the end of the party. One supporter in particular said that he was making his exit while it is still early because he was not prepared to find himself in a gathering of the LGBT community at UNC events. I asked whether he was homophobic, and he outrightly denied this, but said he wouldn't want to be labeled as one, since he has no doubt that the party would be swamped by them given this latest easy hustle. Perhaps he is right, because it appears that big money will pass to the transvestite to stage a protest against the Venezuelans to stir up resentment from the public towards the PNM government. I was reliably informed that the UNC wanted a riot and was hoping that the police would have touched one of the protesters and all hell would have broken out with the LBGT gathering at the Oval. But Commissioner Gary Griffith was smarter than them. It turned out that the fight ended up between the protesters who was quarreling over social media for the big money paid to the transvestite, $50,000, who is considered a Johnny-come-lately, whilst a certain hungry social media comedian who has been in the UNC vineyard for 4 years got a paltry $5,000.
Broadcasting from
Well-known UNC activists from the Beetham estate, Anderson, received nothing and were drunk on Charlotte Street, cussing like he was going mad. Among those who were present included Kingsley, Garth Christopher, Andy Williams, Joy from Sealett's, Morning Joy, and her son, who was captured on the camera kissing Kamala's foot. In essence, the so-called love for the people of Trinidad and Tobago was really a well-orchestrated, paid-for protest by Kamala's UNC. Imagine, this woman is so classless and shameless that the UNC paid to stage her own meet and greet outside the parliament for photo ops from the media after what was a failed UNC protest against the Venezuelans and the government. Her supporters have expressed grave disappointment in her, saying that apart from the transvestite, the party continues to align itself with suspicious characters as part of its campaign propaganda machinery and to incite fear among PNM supporters. They reminded me of Sean Bill Francis, and within recent times, a young man who appeared on the forum platform at the Brazil Secondary School. In the Sunday Express dated 18 February 2019, story by Kim Boudram titled, Hero on UNC platform has long rap sheet, says Stuart, unquote. National Security Minister Stuart Young, quote, National Security Minister Stuart Young has accused the opposition UNC of coverting with criminal elements to gain political grounds. Young said at a press conference on Monday that government was disturbed by the UNC's activities and has called on the population to heighten its radar when it comes to gang activities. Young has also said a man appearing on a UNC platform last week claiming to have been shot 9 times and speaking for the youth, in fact, has a long rap sheet, unquote. Former Housing Minister Rudal Munilal of Snake has led for you fame, once dubbed himself as the landlord of criminal elements, who from time to time he has to interface with. To what extent, one must ask. Interestingly, it was the same Munilal who, on the verge of the protests, run out, he holds think mouth, to advise the government to extend the registration for the Venezuelan asylum seekers. This, obviously, in an attempt to give the impression to the Venezuelan embassy that they were not involved in the attack on their people who are being given an olive branch by the PNM government led by Dr. Keith Rowley. But from the word go, the UNC was written all over the protest, and hence it did not generate any national interest. After all, well-known UNC bloggers, social media journalists, talk show hosts, activists and supporters were at the forefront of the promotion. Besides, the UNC has made prior pronouncement attacking the Venezuelans, saying that they were bringing crime and diseases to Trinidad and Tobago, and that the PNM were registering them to steal the next general election. Imagine the transvestite and the UNC even managed to fool Gary Aboud, who found themselves smack in the middle of a Rowley Must Go campaign, and to think that there are those who consider his kind to be bright. Well, the Mark bus. The UNC spent thousands on a transvestite and others to go after the PNM, to go after the PM and government on the last day of the registration of the Venezuelans. And now they are busting up like Piwa on social media, washing their dirty linens in the public. Folks, there is nothing now to wash Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC from the protest, the Rowley Must Go protest that took place on the last day, which was Friday, I believe, of the government's registration of the Venezuelans. Folks, the opposition leader, Kamala, is bankrupt, incompetent, and has run out of options. She has lowered the bar, according to one of our callers, and lowered the bar to revive her failed and dismal leadership. I've told you, Kamala is a bad woman. I've told you, she is a bad woman. The Bible spoke about the 10 bad women. Kamala, whilst she does not qualify for Bible status, she is the 11th bad woman. Yes, she is the 11th bad woman. I told you folks that a good woman can take a bad man and make a good man out of him. But a good man cannot take a bad woman and make a good woman out of her. I don't know which school you were taught in, but I was trained in the school of hard knocks. And what I say to you are the facts. Bazio Pandey said that Kamala has a monkey on her back. And he repeated allegations said by Jack Warner that she was drunk and fell along on Gandhi's statue. I called on the former Prime Minister, now opposition leader, Kamala, to say whether those allegations were true. Folks, the place is cold, but I'm about to make it hot up in here. I am still calling on the opposition leader, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, to say whether she was drunk and fell along on Gandhi's statue. I'm still calling on her because given recent events, it would appear that the monkey is still on her back. After all, what or who aspiring leader will choose a transvestite to be the face of their party? Folks, I have no problems and no issue with transvestites. Folks, I'm not homophobic. Folks, what I'm discussing here is the gutter politics of Kamala Persad-Bissessar. You can take a pig out of the gutter, but you cannot take the gutter out of a pig. The woman has no class. is not about the trans. This is not about the handful of criminal elements that were outside in the protest. This is about the kind of leader that wants to govern Trinidad and Tobago. And folks have the audacity to be nitpicking, calling this frequency to talk about, oh, Dr. Rowley. They were taken aback that Dr. Rowley used the word ask instead of instructed when he said that he instructed the Minister of National Security to look at registering the Africans